Here we go!
We're feeling very gay because it's almost time to play. Grab your favorite chair with the Lucky Pierres. Yeah.
All right, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the Lucky Pierre's movie reviews. Tonight, we're reviewing a brand new movie by M. Night Shyamalan.
Shyamalan.
Old. All right, what'd you guys think? Loved it? Hated it?
It was enjoyable.
All right, that's it, guys. I'm kidding.
I was so confused.
Yeah, it was enjoyable. Okay, Joe, what do you think?
I was gonna let you go more if you had more to say.
Yeah.
on it,
That's all he had to say, I guess. No,
Well, you
we'll
just
get
said
into
loved it or hated it.
Yeah,
so
no. What'd you like about it? What you didn't like? What you know?
I mean, I went in not expecting much, and it was better than I thought it would be. Better than I anticipated.
Okay.
I
Okay.
loved it. I thought the concept was great. I have a lot of positives and negatives, so I'll let you guys go ahead and.
Okay. Well, we'll just
through your
yeah.
stuff and
I'm with Shaw. I enjoyed it to an extent. It did not blow me away in any capacity, but
I think there's a difference between like loving a movie and it blowing you away. I don't know. It didn't blow me away either, but I just love the movie.
yeah, I feel you there. I feel you. I did not love it. People have preferences. Nobody likes the same stuff. I will say not any two people like the exact same movies. It's
sure.
just not a thing. So some stuff hits different with different people, and but I will say this: I did love the concept. The concept is pretty great. A beach where people age just rapidly. That's a pretty great concept.
He didn't actually come up with that concept. It's from a graphic novel.
Oh, I did read
called
that.
Sandcastle, I guess.
That's crazy.
It ended a lot differently, and he changed some stuff obviously for him.
Are you gonna buy it?
Probably not.
No. Ah.
I don't want to see something that's endings differently and there's different stuff going on.
Could be better though.
It won't be.
I know you loved it, so
I said it was like a Lord of the Flies mixed with Big, with a weird like sci-fi anti-big corporation government twist at the end, kind of.
I like that it had
that makes
every
sense.
kind of like emotion in it. Like it had horror, it had drama, it had comedy. So
That's a good point.
That's
It does
what really got me. Is
It does
the-
have a little bit of everything.
the comedy aspect of it. I don't think the family behind us enjoyed that Joe and I were the only two really laughing in the whole theater, and I was literally slapping my knee at parts.
There were some funny moments by the guy that was getting
Yeah,
what
the
dementia,
deranged
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It seemed like he had dementia or something, but then I think later on in the movie they say he was like early onset schizophrenic or something like that. But that doesn't make sense with how he was acting, but they said that.
So multiple personality kind of thing
Yeah.
going on. Yeah.
I had a thought that like I think it was directed by the perfect person. I'm not even like a Shyamalan fanboy because he has stuff I like and don't like, but I think if like Steven Spielberg directed it, it wouldn't have been the same. It would have been taken seriously or different, and you wouldn't have had like the weird humor moments.
I feel like it's like a less serious turn. Like The Visit and this
right.
are like two of my favorite Shyamalan things because it's like he's almost tongue-in-cheek, like saying, I'm
He
not
knows-
taking myself very
Yeah,
seriously.
he knows how absurd it is, so he just runs with it.
I'm glad you guys said that. That's one of the reasons I don't like it because it's such like a. It's kind
That
of like
makes sense.
It's such like a delicate subject. You know what I mean? People getting old and dying and
But
stuff.
there was points of that toward the end when they like reminisce and the wife and husband come back together. There was the drama and like sadness of it, the seriousness.
There was, but like minimal. It was done so.
But there was a little bit of everything. That's why I love it.
Like an afterthought, you're saying.
Yeah,
well, yeah,
that's a good
Like
word
I'll
for it.
sprinkle this in because maybe I missed it.
I
Like
think-
it wasn't fleshed out.
I think it could have been done so much more, just gentler, you know, and like.
But that's like a different director would have done
I
it
know.
that way. So
I
like,
agree. I get it. I get that. Yeah, but I'm just saying that's one of the reasons I didn't like it. It was just attacked too, just aggressively, or
Well,
I
and
don't
you
know the
didn't-
word. But
you didn't really find any of the characters like likable or. Like,
yeah, you can't get attached
attached
to
to.
them. Yeah, that's something I didn't like as well. Just the characters were kind of, just like kind of stupid at times, and like their reactions weren't like.
They were a bit ridiculous, but
Well,
like,
yeah,
you don't know
'cause
how you would react if that
That's what
started happening. Like,
Sophia tried to
I
say.
think I do.
how would you
That's what
react if you?
Sophia was
Hysterical.
Like, yeah, that's what-
hysterical.
Sophia was like, a real person would be in hysterics. I go, yeah, but it's a movie. I was like,
Well, there's
do you
that,
want
plus,
us to
like-
pay to go watch an hour and a half of all 8 of these people just screaming and crying in hysterics?
Yeah.
I would have walked out.
How do you know? How, why would you be hysterical? Like
When
hysterical, like
when you
you're
realize what's happening and all the people dying around you.
Well, when you realize that your kids just aged literally 7 years in front of your eyes, and then the person got pregnant immediately.
you'd be
and-
hysterical. Like you'd be crying on the beach.
oh, for sure.
But all
Oh.
that stuff was happening like so fast. So I feel like it was very jarring, and some of them were in shock. Like literally,
that
think
could
about
be
like
true.
because that was like a 6-hour period, and the numbers were dwindling quickly.
They were. Yeah, but you don't think any of them would like? Why weren't they swimming out? Like, and
They tried.
did they? I mean, the one dude tried.
two of
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. Said he's on the swim team, and it didn't work out well.
I died in the theater, and I think I reached over to slap Joe, and that guy goes, "I was on the swim team. I'll make it."
He did. That guy. I like that guy.
Also, but like, he was the one who was like, "Is anybody here a powerful swimmer? Can you swim this distance? Because I think that's how far it is in my head." And then like an hour later was like, "I was on the swim team. I can do it." Like, why didn't he say that
Well,
right
the way,
off the
the way
bat?
he broke it down was great. It's like the powerful waves crashing you against the rocks. Can you swim this 4 miles across? Obviously not.
Yeah, yeah. There was some like ridiculous kind of dialogue, or at least delivery, or something. Something was just off about it. You know, it was just
It was silly.
it was silly. Yeah.
Just- yeah.
There was one moment where like the Asian man, he said something like they just figured it out, and he's like, we're aging rapidly on this beach or something. It was just so like as obvious and on the nose. It was like, come on, man. So that was like quite a bit of the dialogue and just the reactions. I don't know, but it was thought provoking. You know, the idea itself is profound and thought provoking. You know, it gets you thinking about life and mortality and all
Also,
that stuff. But
I thought the makeup and stuff was good too.
I like
I was gonna say that. Yeah, very good.
the ending. Are we allowed to talk
Yeah,
about it?
yeah. The ending. It was a satisfying conclusion.
I like that. If you think about it, it almost turns the heroines into the bad guys, because they survived and then they turned over the information and got like them the ring broken up where they were, but
That
now
was-
they're not saving people because that one lady dies and they literally say like, well, she cured epilepsy.
Well, those people were about to save thousands and millions of lives. I mean, that's
Because-
with the medicine
So
stuff.
is
Yeah, it
it
depends
for
on how
the-
you look at it.
Is
With
it
the-
for the greater good or not?
Yeah.
Because that one, if you ask somebody that has like debilitating epilepsy, like, is this one 50-year-old lady dying worth curing epilepsy for the world? She'd probably say yes.
If that was a real thing, though, I think the right way to go about it is ask people around the world.
Give
Do you want to
volunteers, I get
sacrifice
you.
for yourself for
But
the greater
Not
good?
many are going to want to do
Exactly.
No, there's some that are actually decent humans that
Right,
would do that,
but-
but like you can't just sacrifice people. You
that.
can't.
No, obviously not.
I mean,
But there's
you
ways of
can.
looking at
You
it, like-
can.
Yeah,
They
Or
did.
you can see the other side.
You
of
can.
why they were doing it,
Mhm.
but
100% you can. Yeah,
that was like
thousands of lives, millions of lives, or 7 or 8 people at once.
one of the kind of parts I kind of didn't like when I thought about it. I wish it ended on the first ending, like seeing the scientists. I wish they didn't show them escaping and turning him in. I wish it just ended like you get old on this beach and you die, and these scientists are doing this. That should have ended it right there.
You
But
don't think they should have showed the kind of the
the heroic escape,
the typical-
the
typical,
punishment or
like happy
twist
ending.
in a twist
Yeah,
fashion.
They just
it
ended on the
wasn't
first
so,
one.
wasn't so much a happy ending, but it was some sort of justice.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah. But what else? Oh yeah, I thought that every time like something happened that showed they were aging rapidly, the people's reactions were like, "Oh my god!" You know, like it was like they were rediscovering it all over again, as opposed to something happening once and they're going, "Okay, people are aging rapidly," and then but every single
Yeah.
moment that happened, it was like, "Oh my god!" You know, but whatever. Just get over that phenomenon, okay? I know it's crazy, but you know, it again, the characters and the reactions a bit off. Whatever. What else was I gonna say? Oh yeah, there were some fun little moments though. You know, where you go like
Right.
that was
Well-
that was neat. Like the pregnancy. That was
Are we gonna do our favorite part or line.
Oh yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. But I would say, on the whole, it lacks substance. It's a good concept, and it's a good skeleton.
Yeah,
but
you
it,
liked
it,
the concept, not the execution.
it lacks the flesh and the everything around it. That's just my thoughts. So what was your guys' favorite aspect?
It was, I don't know if it was intentional or not, but I noticed it, so I'm assuming it was an intentional decision on their part. But like the children characters obviously physically grew very fast, but their brains like were catching up, so they acted like children in adults' bodies. And then like at one point the mental caught up with the physical. Like the pregnancy scene was a perfect example, because like they're little kids laying together, and then they're like they go away, come back, and now they're teenagers, and he has like his hand on her back behind her shirt, and then they come walking up the beach, and she's just 8 months pregnant, and they're like, "Hey guys, we were just playing, and she got fat because she ate pasta salad. No big deal." And
Acting like kids.
and then like he was like, "Well, what you guys were doing is how babies are made," and he's like, "Yeah, I know, but I thought you had to do it at least 10 times for it to work." And then like once the baby's had, he like kind of switches to an adult and is sad about it, and then like he's the one that makes the decision, like, okay, you have to let go of this like dead baby in a blanket, like we have to bury it or do something with it. You can't just carry it around like a doll.
Yeah. Great scene. Great moment. Yeah. Really.
Well, a great moment.
Yeah. Really sad moment, but yeah. It just turned to sand, you know?
Yeah, it was like you hear noises and then dust
Bones
just falls
rattling.
out of it.
But yeah, that was a good one. Yeah. Joe, what about you?
It kind of ties into mine. I like that he took like absurd stuff and just ramped it up to like 10 and just made it that much more ridiculous and like comedic, to where you're just shocked by it. So it's so funny.
Like what? Like which any
Like
moment
the
in
pregnancy
particular?
part. Like
yeah.
you know they're gonna sleep together.
Yeah.
And then she comes out pregnant. It ramps up to like a new level. You're like, that's just so ridiculous that like the initial shock value, you're like, that's amazing. Like, I just love warp stuff. And that.
Yeah. It did have some cool little moments.
And then like the
you know?
lady with the calcium issue in her bones, she's all of a sudden like a
Yeah.
full on like creature in the cave. Like
Don't
just,
look at me.
Yeah, he just ramps stuff up so ridiculous that
I love that. It had to take place in a cave, and she was like
Right.
a hunchback. Don't look at me.
her makeup's all jacked up.
Coming out of these shadows and stuff. I would say my favorite aspect was just the concept. Just a great idea on paper, you know. What about least favorite aspect?
I guess that the character wise, like there's none you don't really connect with any characters because they're all so ridiculous and everything's happening so quickly that there's none you can really.
I'm the same. Characters and just the
It wasn't so much about the characters in this movie though. It was more
My-
about the just story.
My least favorite was
probably the characters
Like-
for me.
I literally slapped Joe and was like, he's gonna pull a note out from that little kid, and it's gonna tell him how to escape the island, and they could have avoided this whole thing the whole fucking time. And that's literally what happened. He's like, hey, Idlib like encrypted this note and gave it to me before we came. I never looked at it. Maybe I should. And they're already 50 years old at this point. They started as a 7-year-old and an 11-year-old.
And
You're
then
just
they're
annoyed that he
50
didn't look
the-
at it.
Yeah, and then he pulls out the note, decodes it, and he goes, the coral, and just
Yeah.
immediately the problem
I
solved.
knew too from the very beginning. It was predictable. That moment at least. Yeah.
It's just
that
it
was going to tie in.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
so annoying to me, probably, that I knew it was going to happen, and then it actually did happen, and just the fact that like all of the calamity, everything, literally just read the stupid note, which it seems like he would have done because they were obsessed with decoding these notes and being best friends right off the bat. So you think when he got there, he would have read that message before they were like, "Oh, you're aging."
Yeah,
It's
but if you would
the
have
end
read
of the
it
world.
right when they got to the beach, it wouldn't have meant anything really. Like no one would have believed him about any coral or. 'Cause
But
they didn't
then-
know what was going on until
But then also when they
hours
get to the
into it.
beach, their dad was like, "Hey kids, go look at that beautiful coral."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Come on!" And then I was like, "Okay, that's the whole M Night
Yeah.
Shyamalan thing." Like, okay, I should have noticed the coral, and then like hitting home, it definitely is the coral. The characters are dumb.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
If you think it's a positive or negative, he tied everything together and
but
like
then, well, yeah,
very
a neat little bow.
yeah. He
Like,
told you
he
everything that
explains
happened.
everything to you, but then also in his typical fashion, it could be open ended. Like you could say, well, there's more below the surface of this, and like think it's a big nefarious plot, even more so than it shows.
Yeah, but even if you had like a question in the movie,
Yeah.
he said it earlier in the movie. He showed you.
Right. But also, I thought of this today, actually. Idlib, the little boy that's like best friends with him. Is there something wrong with that kid not aging? Because
I was thinking the
uncle,
same thing.
the
yeah.
uncle was like, "Oh, you got to stop making friends with the kids I tell you not to."
What do you
So
mean?
like, how many people has he made friends with that died in the experiments? Because he's a little kid. So they said they did 73 experiments. That's at least.
No, the kid never goes to the beach.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, why is he still a little kid? Like, why is he befriending all of these people before they die? Because it seems like to do 73 experiments, that's going to be at least a year or two.
Well, he didn't befriend all of them, I don't think. You know,
Well, I know, but I mean, how long has he been befriending them and like
yeah, I did think
giving
something was up with
clues
that
and
kid.
doing whatever?
Yeah,
Like, it
because
just seemed odd.
they treated that kid weird.
Yeah,
Like,
it just seemed like an odd, unanswered thing.
yeah.
Picked people from the families that were sick that
Oh, I
he
know,
knew
but
was
I'm
going
just
to the
saying.
beach.
But I'm
like-
just saying, especially since it's M. Night Shyamalan, I feel like there could be something weird about that kid.
Prequel about the kid. All right, what about favorite line or
Wait,
scene?
I
Oh,
did when we walked out of the theater. I did say to Ben, I was like, "That was a prequel to The Sixth Sense, and that little kid was Haley Joel Osment, that little Asian kid Idlib."
That's great. But what about favorite scene or line?
The pregnancy scene and where he's like, "I thought you had to do it 10 times for it to work," and then the senile, schizophrenic dementia dude just kept bringing up. He's like, he's about to cut into a woman because she has a tumor, and he's like, hold up, something serious first. Brando and Nicholson were in a movie together. What was it? And then everybody's like distraught, like, "You're a doctor, please do the operation." And he's like, "Hold on."
Super
And
traumatic,
then,
traumatic
he kept
scene.
doing it. He's like throughout the whole downward spiral of like his character, he just kept going. He's like, "Do you guys even watch movies?" Like, Nicholson, Brando, go. And then there's another part with him that my friend Chris like also watched old around the same time we did, and he brought it up to me. Like that rapper's name is Midsize Sedan.
Yeah.
And that same dementia guy disliked him right off the
Oh,
bat.
yeah.
But when he's like, "What's your name, fella?" or whatever, he's like, "Midsize Sedan." The guy's like, "Yeah, that checks out." Like, what do you mean that checks out?
Checks out.
Like a man that you're being racist towards and accusing of murder says his name is Midsize Sedan, and you go, "Yeah, it checks out."
Sounds about right. Joe, what about your favorite scene or line?
I just love the shock of the pregnancy. Like,
Yeah.
I was dying laughing when I seen her. She was pregnant.
You just couldn't believe it?
I couldn't believe it. Because I guess Aaron said that was in the previews. I never saw it in the previews. So, like, her
I've never
coming
seen
out,
that in the preview.
just the fact that they were banging and they were like 6 years old, like the day, like in a couple hours before, was enough for me to be like, that's ridiculous. Then she comes out pregnant, and I was like, amazing.
And
I wanted to stand up and clap. Like,
she's pregnant over a cooler, shoveling like
Yes,
handfuls
yes.
of pasta salad.
Yeah, yeah.
And she holds it out. She's like holds 2 handfuls of pasta.
'Cause
She's
she's
"Do you
still-
want any?"
She's still mentally like 6 or 7 or whatever that.
and she's starving because she's pregnant. Like, 6 months pregnant.
That's great.
Also,
But my favorite scene was the vein chick like turning into like a creature. in her
gargoyle,
eyes.
basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like every time, like she was crawling in the cave, so a bone would break, and then her arm would just be demented.
And then the people looking at her and she go, "Don't look at me."
And then also,
That's what I mean. It's so absurd. Like, you can't help but
with
laugh.
the same character, the same dementia guy, like he gets kept slashing people with a pocket
did.
knife,
Tiny
And, like,
little knife.
but like always had a reason. Like the Asian dude, he's like, "I've seen you in my neighborhood. You're looking at my wife. Do you want me to punch you in the mouth right now?" And everybody just looked like, "Sir, I don't
What?
know you." And then he slices like the mid-sized sedan. He slices him on the face immediately. Yeah. And he's like, "He was gonna rob my house." And it's like, you're on a beach. Like, where? What do you
He
mean?
was
he's gonna
losing his
rob-
mind. Yeah. All right, but how about this? Let's get to
Rating.
ratings. What did you guys give it?
8. Solid 8.
An 8.
Yep.
I gave it a 6.5.
I was teetering between like a 6, 5, 7, and I'll go 7 because thinking back, the comedy just killed it for me. Like, I
Yeah.
just thought it was great.
You were laughing a few times in there. You know?
Oh, it was so good.
All right, and how about final verdict? See it ASAP, see it whenever, or watch it whenever, or skip it.
I say see it ASAP, but
Yeah, I was in the middle, like, just
See it whenever. I'm with see it whenever too. So this one's see it whenever, and then also we have a movie quote game. All right.
I'm not using the same quote. It's
Okay.
not happening.
Yeah,
There's a
well,
new one.
Yeah. Well, all right. We have a movie quote game where someone gives the other two a movie quote, and they got to guess it, and we have a point system.
We don't really know how the points work yet. We
Not
haven't
yet.
fleshed it out.
But once we get there, the winner who gets to the points first is going to get a gift card or a pizza or something. So
or
Shaw-
use the points to make the other people do embarrassing things. We don't know.
Yeah. So here's our quote game, and what's the quote, Shaw?
Jesus Christ himself has blessed me with many gifts. One of them is knocking someone the fuck out. And the only reason I picked a quote is because we've literally mentioned this movie before, and you both have seen it.
Okay, let me think for just. We should have like a timer, like an hourglass or something, but. I'm gonna say. What have we mentioned before? I'm gonna say. I have no idea.
I don't really. I would say boxing movie, but I got nothing other than that. Like,
I'll say scary movie too. I don't.
No.
I don't.
Pain and Gain.
Oh, Pain and Gain.
Okay.
Which I was like, I can't pick a quote from Pain and Gain because that's not like a super well-known movie. But I told that story about my friend who smoked weed with Mark Wahlberg and was like, I wanted to say something like nobody's ever said to him before. So I was like, hey, I love you in Pain and Gain, man. And you were like, he should have heard that before. That's a great movie. I've seen it multiple times. And I know that you've also seen it.
I love that movie.
So I thought it was fair game.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, it is.
And that's
a good
The
one.
Rock says that.
Yeah.
That's a quote from The
I
Rock.
figured
in
it was the
movie.
right. Yeah. But that's a good one. That's
And I'm because I looked up quotes from that movie because of that, and there's so many, so many good ones.
That's points for you. So you and Joe got points, I believe, and I don't have any points. So all right. So I think that's it for old. That's it for old. That's our review, and we will see. Thanks for watching, first of all, and we will see you very soon.